Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're all doing well and I hope you're enjoying the uploads. We've done a lot of UCAT videos recently and sort of talked a lot about individual sections, and today's going to be another one, and we've spoken about pretty much every section I believe so far. Today is going to be about the last one, quantitative reasoning. Not the last one in the UCAT, but the last upload. Actually I'm not even sure if it's going to be the last one, but another section basically, the last one that I'm filming, quantitative reasoning. Now quantitative reasoning is usually actually the best performed UCAT section simply because it's just maths, and a lot of people who are medical applicants find maths very trivial and don't struggle with it. But if you are a medical applicant who finds maths a little bit treacherous, hopefully this video will help you analyze this section, and you'll start to find the section really easy. If you want what I got 870 in this section, and even I can get 870, and that shows that anyone can pretty much do well in this section. It's pretty much basically exactly proportional to how much practice you put into this. So basically if you do 2 hours of quantitative reasoning, you will do a lot better in quantitative reasoning as opposed to doing 2 minutes a day. So I would definitely say this is basically a section which is pretty much dependent on how much time you put into it, how much practice you do. There's no revision for it, it's pretty much just practice, and you'll ace this section, no doubt. I have got some tips though that I would say is really important. I obviously did pretty well I think in this section. Honestly, I think that was a fluke, but I do have some things that I did during the exam which helped me a little bit, and hopefully they'll help you guys as well. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. So the first thing is about mental maths, and I think it's something really important. So mental maths is the art of being able to do calculations in your head without any working out or using a calculator, and it's a really valuable skill in quantitative reasoning. I would say that my ability to do mental maths is one of the biggest things that gave me, that 870 in the section, because it meant that I didn't have to resort to working out or using a calculator. I was just doing sums in my head, so it cut down on the time I needed per question significantly. You might be thinking that it's easy said than done actually, very easy for some people to do mental maths, but for me, I struggle with it a lot. And yeah, that's fair enough. I wasn't able to do mental maths even, when I started revising for quantitative reasoning. I was using the calculator a lot, I was working out on paper, and the best way to sort of get around this is sort of to do loads of mental maths questions. And that's really easy. All you need is a calculator and maybe a phone, but literally just a calculator. All you need to do is, in your head, think of a random sum, like 700 plus 850, and do it in your head, and then do it in the calculator and see if you've got the right answer, and then sort of make it harder for yourself. Think maybe 7,150 plus 875. Do it in your head, and then come up with the answer. Try and do it as fast as possible, and then do it on the calculator and see if you've got the right answer. Do multiplication, do some division sums. If you can't do it in your head, if you've got access to a phone, find a random number generator or a random sum generator. I can leave a link to the description below for any links that I find, any interesting links, or I'll drop them in the comments as well. And yeah, I would definitely say that's really important. As long as you're just sort of doing loads of mental math sums over the course of your revision, you'll find that it comes to you more naturally, and by the end of it, you'll be able to do sums pretty much, like that. So yeah, I would definitely say so. That's a big thing to do. The next thing is units. Units is super important, and I know you guys have had this drilled into you because it's an easy place to lose marks. In your answer, make sure you're writing out units. In the question, the units that they give, and the answer units they give. If there's any discrepancies in that, make sure you're converting in your calculations, and also make sure you know conversion rates. They do usually give these to you in the exam, but just make sure you know the basic ones, the ones in your GCSE, like millimeter to centimeter, centimeter to meter, meter to kilometer, also kilometer to mile, so 1.6 km is equal to 1 mile. Try and learn inches to feet, because that can come up, although they'll usually give it to you, but do be aware of inches to feet. I'm even not sure what it is. I think it's like 12 inches a foot or something. Yards and sort of all that, acres and all of that you don't need to know that, I think. They'll give you that in the exam. But basic stuff like meters, meter squared, centimeter squared to meter squared. Also learn meter cubed, so centimeter cubed, meters cubed, millimeters cubed. All of those conversions, learn them, because they'll be really useful come the exam. I would recommend trying to understand them before you actually learn them, because you can understand them, and then once you understand the conversions, learning them is a lot easier than just blank repetition. I would say that's a really easy way of basically learning it. As long as you just understand it and go through it, you'll be able to sort of know these things really easily. Now, the final thing I would say is to be aware of your money. Money is a big topic in quantitative reasoning. And when I say money, I mean things like investments, things like interest, things like taxes. They always come up in quantitative reasoning. And if you fundamentally don't know how interest works or how tax works, this can really stiff you in the exam. Although you definitely don't need to know about it, the official advice is that the question gives you everything you need to know. it does actually help a lot just to know about what tax is and basically how it works. Not exactly, how the government take tax, I mean like how calculations for tax work. So for example, interest, you need to know about compound and simple interest. So if you don't know what simple versus compound interest is, I'd go and do some learning on that, because it's definitely something that you can pick up during the exam, but why would you want to waste time when you could just learn how it works before the exam and do a few practice questions in it, because that will 100% come up in the exam. The second thing, and that will definitely come up in the exam, is taxes. So things like, for example, banding in taxes. So understanding how tax works, I didn't understand how tax works at all. So my first practice paper, I sort of got the calculation horribly wrong because I misunderstood how it worked. So they'll usually give you a table where it's basically, if you earn up to 10k a year, you get 10% tax. If you earn up to 20k per year, you get 15% tax. If you earn up to 30k per year, you get 20% tax. That's quite a lot of tax, but so you need to know how it works. Is it that you take 5% off the first band and then 20% of the how exactly does the banding system work? So you need to understand how exactly that banding system works, because if you don't understand how it works, it can take time to sort of fully understand it in the exam. And if you don't understand it, ask your parents. They definitely know how it works, because they hopefully pay tax, so they'll definitely know how it works. So I would definitely go ask them and make sure that you basically understand how this works, because if you understand how it works, it can be a real hack to doing well in the quantitative reasoning sections. So yeah, those are 3 things I would say are super important to quantitative reasoning. Please do enjoy the section as well, because it can be quite a sort of boring section in a way, especially if you're not a big fan of mathematics. It can be a really boring section. So please do enjoy the section. Please do revise, put a lot of work into it, put hours into it, and you'll get a lot out of it. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, drop a like, comment down below any questions you've got. Feel free to message me on my Instagram, and we'll catch you in the next video. Yeah, see you in a bit.